Hey guys, welcome back to the TohirT channel. TohirT here. I hope you had a fantastic week. Listen, the world is a very different place than it was 3 months ago, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be completely different by the end of 2020. And that brings a lot of stress and anxiety to people. You see the world changing, you see the companies change, you see people behave differently. That's a lot to take in. So in this video, specifically for the professionals and those who have to figure out how to do it for their small business, their entrepreneurial adventure, or if they're in the office corporate job, how do you overcome that stress? What kind of tools and tricks you apply to just get comfortable with the change itself? It's all about figuring out the process. It's all about figuring out yourself, and it is really about falling in love with a blank page. Let's do this. I spend time thinking and researching this kind of topics a lot, so if you're curious to learn a unique point of view on the self-development from someone who's been in the tech and media industry for like 10 years plus at this point, check out this playlist over here. And well, I have been thinking a lot about this specific topic because the world is changing a lot. The companies that we used to think of as this like behemoths, very firm on their ground, unshakable, are just crumbling. The new companies and the new industries are popping up like mushrooms after the rain. And the nature of our jobs ourselves, the work projects that we're currently handling, is changing completely. Just look as an example at all of those companies who used to defend with the foam at their mouth how being in the office at the same time is crucial, and if you let people work from anywhere, it's just gonna fall apart. And now look at some of these companies right now when every single person in their workforce are with the kids, cats, or beds in the background, and they're as effective as ever. I do bring a lot of bias into this topic, but at the same time I want to be respectful because pandemic is not to be taken lightly. The way we got here, I hate it. I wish it would not be the way we did it, but at the same time I am glad to some extent, if glad is the right appropriate word, of us arriving at this position right now where we realize that there is little to no value of that centralized HQ, and the fact that the people are now professional and technology capable enough to be as effective as when they were in the office, now that they are outside of it in their work from home environment. So if all of this talk about the changes, work from home, about the companies falling down, new industries popping up, causing any kind of anxiety or stress, first of all, apologize for the terrible intro for you, but this is the whole point. Throughout the rest of the video, I want to share with you 3 tips that I apply myself, whether it is entering completely new companies, entering completely new jobs, losing jobs, finding new jobs, entering new projects like this one. They all can be bundled together. They all can be tackled with this following 3 steps. Step number 1, understand what you can and cannot control. This is the thing that trips up so many people. My friends, my relatives, people who I work with, I see them crumbling under the pressure when they start worrying about 20 different things around particular change that's coming up ahead. For example, in your case, it may be the fact that with the recent changes in the pandemic and the industry changing, you are now facing a prospect of entering a completely new position because you're lucky to not get laid off, but at the same time you're getting something completely new on your plate. Majority of the people in this situation would start worrying about every single step, what it's going to look like, what it's going to look like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, where I want you to reset completely back and just think about what can you control right now? You cannot control the final decision, that I assume. You cannot really do anything about this new role until you're officially in it and you know what you have to do. And you cannot really do much about the company itself because I assume you're not necessarily the CEO of the company who is about to trigger that change. So instead of worrying about all of those things that are completely outside of your effect, go back to the drawing board and think about things that you really can affect change on. First of all, focus on your mindset. That's the easiest thing to start thinking about, and hopefully while watching this video you're already doing that. Think about all the existing projects that you're currently working on. No one canceled your work right now, so you might as well do your best, show the effort, show that dedication, show that in the light of possible change you still remain completely focused and dedicated to your task, and really start thinking about if you have certain clue about the area that you're going to have to focus on. Think about the skills that might help you in there, whether they're 100% useful or not. That's always a great opportunity to keep your mind focused or refocus to something new. Maybe you start learning a new software, maybe you're in a creative space, you want to try out a different trick of taking this product photography, different things that can help you get a little bit ahead of yourself in terms of the skill set where you are right now and the skill set where you want to be. And you will be ready once the change actually happens. But for now, focus on yourself, focus on things that you can control, and don't worry about things that are outside of your control right this minute. Step number 2, you're now in this new role. You feel like you're drinking from the fire hose, new people, new projects, new things to learn, new vocabulary to master, all the acronyms. Jesus, the acronyms, they're everywhere. So in this moment in time, as you start tackling all of this together, your anxiety meter is slowly coming up to the boiling point. So what do? Well, my secret in those situations, and trust me, I feel those waves, like that wave of anxiety coming up somewhere in the background, and I have to calm it down early. And the way I calm it down is by focusing on the project a day at a time. You do not have to completely shift your focus away from the long-term prospects. It's always good to understand where you're heading. It's very easy to overburden yourself with the entire mess of that project, but you were not hired, you did not start that business, you did not start that project yourself just to tackle everything on day one. You have time. Give yourself time. Chunk it up, break it apart in smaller projects, and start tackling them one day at a time. Will Smith actually has a very interesting metaphor that I'd like to use here, and I think that perfectly describes my view of all those complex projects that we usually take on the further we go into our careers.
You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall.
Especially in today's world, in 2020, everyone's in the same boat. You have to go through the similar kind of anxiety and exercise of taking on something new and understanding what the world would look like by 2021 as the rest of us. So you're not at a disadvantage, you're not at any advantage, we're all on the same starting line. So take this as an opportunity. Talk to your friends, talk to your family members, talk to your colleagues, learn what they're doing. Also share what you're doing. Share this kind of videos and the content that you use to motivate yourself and help yourself plan that future state of mind and future state of who you are as that creative or that professional. For today, all you really need to focus on is on that brick by brick metaphor. Day by day, small part of the project by small part of the project, brick by brick, build out that foundation. You'll bring up that level of skill set that you need to tackle it. And over time, you'll be on such a firm ground that as you take on further complexities within that role, within that project, within that business that you're about to open, well, you are now very well prepared for whatever else that comes next. All right, my change veteran, I'd like to welcome you to step number 3. And yes, you are a veteran. And you might ask, Tahir, but I have done it maybe only once. How can I be a veteran at this point? Well, you're not a grizzled veteran, but you already know as much as you need to succeed. I promise, and completely honest about the fact that once you figure out that playbook, once you figure out those steps from seeing what you're in control versus what you're not in control of, seeing the mass of the project, breaking it up in small pieces and tackling them one day at a time, that's as best of an approach and as simplest of an approach that you need to be successful. Again, whether you're in the professional space, the creative space, or whether you're about to launch your new business in 2020. Every situation starts with this process. You first learn where you are as a person. You then learn certain set of new skills and facts and items that you need to learn about this particular project. Then you break it apart and you start focusing on executing it day at a time, week at a time, month at a time, and a year at a time. At the end of the day, I've been now doing this for a few years. I've been in finance. I started my career in analytics and marketing. I've switched and done product development. I've launched software products and data products. I've been in sales ops and marketing ops and different kinds of revenue ops. Every single time as I would switch to the new role, to the new company, to the new kind of project, I apply exactly the same methodology. It literally does not change. You start with that blank page and you slowly fill it out with facts. They all started the same. Blank page, and then as that blank page slowly fills up with facts and questions, my knowledge level and my comfort level with that project increases. At the end of the day, with all those areas that I've just mentioned, I'm not the most skillful or the smartest person. I just know how to apply myself, and I apply this mini playbook every single time, and I force myself to learn through it. I get myself comfortable through it, and I build that foundation of knowledge and skills and experience in that new area, one brick at a time. And with all said and done, 2 things that I carried away by going through this process a few times is that A, I did fall in love with a blank page, and number 2, I got comfortable, feeling uncomfortable. How comfortable are you with all the changes that we're facing in this world? Do you have other tips and tricks that you use to manage your stress level and remain productive? And what are other ways by which we should be augmenting our own personal skills in our state of mind in this crazy world of 2020? Share your thoughts and ideas in the section below. All I can say is the world is a very different place today. It's going to be a very different place tomorrow. There's going to be more technologies, more industries. We're still just scratching the surface of what is possible with having access to the internet and with that ability to work from anywhere. Becoming a master of change in this environment is important. It will make you a very valuable asset to your company, to the corporation that you're working on, and to yourself if you're working on your entrepreneurial adventure. And it also will hopefully reward you better than some of these other functions are, and you will be prepared when older jobs disappear and the new jobs reappear, because you know how to start things over. And at the end of the day, and most importantly, it's going to give you a peace of mind. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and check out the videos in the backlog. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for stopping by. As always, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video, and I will see you all next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, on this very channel. Something got struck. Yeah, you see, something got stuck in my throat, and I was like, I need to just survive through this intro. I don't want to outro. I don't want to do it all over again. Anyway, guys, for the outro today specifically, I just had this random thought because I was on a call with one of my colleagues, one of the sales executives on the West Coast, and my 4-year-old really wanted to talk to him because he saw me talking on the phone. He started chatting with him, telling him about all the cartoons that he likes. And I had this random thought. You can tell if the person has kids or they don't based on how knowledgeable they are about the current trending cartoons and animation characters out there. If you can recite those intro songs or you can name every single pop on Paw Patrol, well, I hope you're enjoying the parenting. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.